Hey folks, back with another video on Cyber Threat Trends Report. This one is by Cisco. Their motto is the bridge to possible, and the topic that I'm going to talk about is from Trojan takeovers to ransomware roulette. From Trojan takeovers to ransomware roulette. Cyber threat trends. This is contents. Let's go. The threat landscape is always changing. Billions of ever-expanding connections are made every day by organizations across the internet. There are more things to protect than ever before. Work patterns are constantly shifting, which means organizations are more vulnerable against increasingly sophisticated attacks. Introduction: How DNS helps us discover the most dangerous threats. The domain name system was created to connect, not to protect. It was meant to connect users to websites or applications quickly and correctly, and it forms the foundation of internet. People use DNS billions of times a day without knowing it. Every time a user connects to a website, opens an app on their phone, or updates software, the device queries DNS servers to find the IP address associated with the domain. Cisco has a unique vantage point when it comes to cybersecurity. We know that you can't protect what you can't see because we resolve an average of 715 billion daily DNS requests. We see more threats, more malware, and more attacks than any other security vendor in the world. We also power all security services with the threat intelligence of Cisco Talos. Talos is the largest non-governmental threat research organization in the world, made up of an elite group of security experts. These massive data sets and expert security researchers power our threat research and provide unmatched threat intelligence to stop attacks earlier. It's this foundation that lets us see and understand threats sooner and block them faster. Many of today's sophisticated attacks rely on DNS activity. This report looks at the top threats that exploited DNS for cyber attacks, as well as how DNS layer security provides better accuracy and detection of malicious activity and compromised systems. So, what are the key findings? The three most seen threat categories were information stealers, Trojans, and ransomware. Each of these categories have had average monthly blocks in hundreds of millions. Threat 1: Information stealers. First identified around 2020, Redline has the capability to steal various types of personal information from an infected computer, including stored passwords from browsers, credit card information, cryptocurrency wallets, VPN login credential, FTP logins, cookies and session data, and more. It's typically delivered via email and malvertising campaigns, either directly or via exploit kits and loader malware. Recently, research suggests that some cybercriminal groups are targeting the gaming community, leveraging fake Wave3 gaming lures to deliver malware capable of stealing sensitive information from Mac OS and Windows users. Information stealers are malicious programs designed to collect various kinds of personal and financial information from an infected system. They can capture keystrokes, extract files, steal browser data like passwords and cookies, and more. Information stealers generate large amounts of DNS traffic, given that the threat exfiltrates data from a compromised organization. The information stealer activity blocked includes credential stealing and monitoring of audio-video communications. A trend appears with 3 months of above average activity followed by 1 month of below average activity. These drops in activity could be tied to attack groups processing large caches of stolen data collected for 3 months then analyzed for one. This is something that's been seen before in the threat landscape over time. Information stealers persist as a significant threat because they can covertly harvest a wealth of sensitive data, which is highly valued on the black market. The continuous creation of new variants can evade detection, and the broad range of tactics for distribution, including phishing and compromised websites. ensures a steady stream of victims. As personal and financial data remain lucrative targets, information stealers are consistently updated and deployed by cybercriminals. Threat 2: Trojans. Crackbot is a multifunctional and sophisticated Trojan with capabilities that include stealing banking credentials and other personal information, as well as providing a backdoor for attackers to install additional malware on infected systems. Over time, Crackbot has evolved with various updates and improvements to its evasion and propagation techniques. It can propagate itself across networks by exploiting vulnerabilities and using brute force attacks on account credentials, allowing it to spread rapidly within corporate networks. What's a Trojan? Trojan are a type of malware that mislead users of their true intent. They are often disguised as legitimate software. Another common installation tactic is when a user gets a malicious link like an email attachment disguised as an invoice that one clicked on can silently install a Trojan. Once activated, they can enable cybercriminals to spy on you, steal your sensitive data, and gain backdoor access to your systems. Our analysis Trojans. Trojan activity was highest in August and September 2023, then declined over the remaining time frame of this research. Despite the declines, Trojan activity is the second highest across the threat categories. In the past, Trojan activity drops have been seen alongside spikes in ransomware. Trojans continue to be a common threat due to their deceptive nature and ability to hide in the background while performing malicious activities. They are effective means for attackers to gain unauthorized access to systems, deliver additional malware, and create backdoors. The ease with which Trojans can be spread through social engineering and software vulnerabilities continues to their ongoing prevalence in our threat reports. Threat 3: Ransomware. Lockbit is one of the most active ransomware variants today. Its ransomware operations accounted for over 25% of the total number of posts made to data leak sites. In February 2024, multi-agency international law enforcement task force managed to disrupt Lockbit operations. However, the group managed to quickly resume operations utilizing new servers and encryptors. Ransomware. Ransomware is a type of malware that encrypts the file on a victim's computer or network, making them inaccessible, and demands a ransom payment to decrypt them. Victims are often threatened with permanent loss of data or exposure of stolen data if the ransom isn't paid. Ransomware is a type of malware that encrypts the files on a victim's computer or network, making them inaccessible, and demands a ransom payment to decrypt them. Victims are often threatened with a complete destroyal, a complete exposure, a complete threatened with permanent loss, destruction, data, permanent loss of data, or exposure of stolen data if the ransom isn't paid. Our analysis: ransomware. Ransomware activity jumped in January and stayed high for the rest of the observed time frame. The trends seen in ransomware closely shadow trends seen in the dropper category, suggesting a correlation between the two. It's likely that the droppers we're seeing are being used to seed ransomware payloads. Ransomware remains a prevalent threat as it directly monetizes attack by holding data or systems hostage for ransom. Its high profitability, coupled with the increasing availability of ransomware as a service platforms, allows even less skilled attackers to launch campaigns. Organizations offer inadequate backup and recovery process, and the willingness of many to pay the ransom perpetuate the cycle of attacks. Let's talk about rats. The analysis of rat. There's a PT. Botnet. So these are all the cybersecurity terms and terminologies. These are all the types of malwares, all the type of cyber attacks, and the variants of cyber attacks that can occur. I link the description. I link put up the link in the description. If you're interested in it, you could probably go watch it. I'm gonna conclude here because I've got to work on something more pressing and prioritize something more at the moment. That's why I will end it for now. But I hope you have a good one. Take care. See ya. Bye.